Hello friends, welcome back to another Graz Reviews. I'm Graz, and this is a review of The Sims 3 University Life. So it finally came out, a university expansion for The Sims 3, and what can I say? It's basically the same thing except when it was on The Sims 2. But it's still pretty cool to say the least to put your sim through university, right? So let's go ahead and delve in and see what's going on. So in this case, we're only going to put one person through university, and when you do it, you have to go through an enrollment process. They'll put you through an aptitude test to see if you can get in. Of course, it's the whole ordeal. So, of course, you'll be asked the number of credits you want to take, the number of terms, and what you may be looking for. Business, technology, science and medicine, fine arts, communication, and basically whatever. These fields will actually help you get better jobs if you should go ahead and graduate, or they may unlock certain paths for you if you go ahead and delve even deeper into them. So it's really up to you on how it goes. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and take one of the simplest forms, technology. And of course, it doesn't look like he'll get any financial aid, apparently. Did he even take the aptitude test? Apparently, I guess he didn't. Alright, well in this case, he's paying money up front. So that's a bit of a thing anyway. Alright, so basically once you have the expansion installed, you'll have this little university mascot guy. He'll come to your house, he'll drop off some stuff, and he'll basically just let you know that university's here in town, and that's a thing. But we're not worried about him because in this case we're already going to university, and, well, so much for the family. They'll stay at their own lot while you go off and have your own family in the university should you go to a dorm, or if you just decide to go ahead and stick it by yourself in a rental. And of course you have the nice little family goodbye. Now university offers a lot of cool things to do once you get there, but the thing is sometimes they don't always happen to tend to work. You'll have other Sims throw kegger parties to which you could go to, and maybe they bug out, maybe they don't. It's really hard to say. The university itself is one big town with various different things around. You have coffee shops, comic book shops, rental homes, dormitories. You have so much different things. There's a whole lot to do and so little time to do it, it seems. So it's really cool to say the least. At this point, you get to pick if you want to live in a dormitory, a sorority, or whatever, or a single little rental home. So it's really up to you. The dorms are nice places to go to, but you'll have to have a dorm roommate in there, and that could be annoying for some people. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one for here. And of course, the greatest thing about being in a dormitory, there's no rent. If you pick a house, then you have to pay rent. It could be in a fraternity house, that's no rent, but still, you're going to be dealing with more people there. If your Sim's a female, then you deal with a sorority, of course. Anyway, we've already picked in there. And then, of course, we get to live in the dorms, and everyone will be standing around going blah-de-blah, and that's a bit of a thing. Now, one of the things that gets introduced with university life is the ability to lock doors once again. So that way, if you want to have other people in there with you, you can. If not, you can go ahead and lock the door. As you can see, we'll go ahead and lock it from everyone but myself. That way I can go in and set the bed ownership to myself. There we go. Now, if you have a roommate in there already, you can go ahead and remove that bed, and that way you'll only have one bed for yourself. That way, you won't have to worry about sharing a room. It makes things so much more easier. Another thing you'll notice right off the bat from the university expansion is you have a cell phone. Not just a cell phone, but a smartphone. So now you'll be able to do things like social networking. You can text Sims, you can browse the web, you can stream video, you can even eventually blog. So all that will get you social networking points that you can actually use for maybe other jobs and things like that. Now, I personally didn't really find much of a use for it, but there are social groups now within this University Life expansion. And through these social groups, you can actually go ahead and advance and get different rewards, different job opportunities, and even get an extra trait skill that you can actually use. And of course, the new monster slash whatever mob is the plant people in here. Unfortunately, I have not found a way to unlock them, but it's not that difficult, I'm being told. So this is one of the plant people at its finest. As you can see, he's just a big green dude with leaves for hair and whatnot. So it's pretty neat to see, to say the least. Computers also have online dating now that you can go on there and create a profile. You can meet other Sims through this online dating program they have, but you also have to be very careful because if you manage to lie on your profile, you'll also tend to tick off a lot of other Sims on there. So it's not something you'd want to do, but you know, what can you do? Sometimes some Sims see you in a different fashion than what others might see you, so that's a bit of a problem. For the most part, it's a pretty enjoyable experience. What can I say? The game, though, does have its moments with bugs to where they're not game-breaking bugs, but they can be quite quirky. If you're very picky about bugs, they're very irritating. If you don't mind, or if you like cheating, then the bugs really won't bother you. I've managed to go ahead and get bugged in the shower. One of the classes, I believe on a Thursday, it seems like, I cannot enter the classroom. So I can just like run around the whole university all day and still gain class points. That's a bit of a weird thing. So, yeah, some things kind of slipped by in QA. It's kind of disappointing to see that, but it tends to happen. I mean, with EA, it tends to happen a whole lot, it seems like, anymore. So that's a bit of a thing. As you can see, once you go under the Academics tab, you can see your responsibilities in order to gain class points. You can see your class schedule. And that's the thing. As you can see, Thursdays at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It all depends on what kind of credits you're going for, how many terms you're doing here. It all depends on how. Once you have that, it'll break down how many schedules you have, basically. How many classes you have per schedule, I should say. A little tongue-tied there. But the more difficult your schedule, the more classes you're ultimately going to have. So as you can see, this is a pretty laid-back schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have one class. Tuesday and Thursday, we both have one class. So this is an easy-peasy schedule. You're not going to get any more points. If you want to go to university and knock out a whole bunch of points quick, then be prepared to work your bum off because they are going to make you do a ton of work. And any chance of having fun, forget about it. You'll be working around the clock, studying, and whatnot. As you can see, our plant friend down there continues to yuck it up with the rest. If I could zoom out real quick, as you can see, here's a general view of the map facing down. Here is our different schools, basically part of the university. Eateries. You have the cinema around here, coffee shops, the Grotto Eatery, and of course you have the gym and the comic book store, which are around here. This one's Keith's Comics. So for the most part, it's a really neat experience. You'll see a lot of people travel around here on bikes and such. Now, if you bring a vehicle, you can use it, but be wary. And this mainly pertains if you're renting a house. You can leave your vehicle here in the house. So when you graduate, be very mindful to grab your vehicle. Literally drag it from the garage into your backpack. That will be a problem. If you're in a dormitory, then you ain't going to have to worry about it. There's no garages for your vehicle. So that's one less thing to worry about. All in all, for the expansion, I give it a 3 out of 5. It's really fun, and if you're a big Sims fan, you'll really enjoy it, of course. But if you're looking for anything really groundbreaking, don't really expect it, because if you've played The Sims 2 University, you're going to get something very similar to this. Now, granted, there's other cool things in here you could do, but still, it doesn't really separate it from its predecessor to me, really. You're pretty much doing something very similar, and ultimately, if you don't have the expansion, you could probably get the same type of job career if you just sat your sim back and spent some time doing some skills and studying and whatnot. But with all that, you won't have the fun of going around and doing keggers and such, so University does add that bit of spice of life to the game, which you really enjoy. And depending upon what your majoring might be, you can get cool items, like this little dude right here from the science and medicine career in university. He gets a little skeleton that you could do all kind of cool stuff with. So, you know, it adds a little bit of spice to the game, but it quite frankly isn't really necessary. So 3 out of 5. If you're a Sims fan, you'll probably want to pick it up. If not, then don't feel bad if you're not missing anything. But if you're getting bored of just sitting back reading books and doing whatever, then university life could spice up your day just a little bit more with some of its quirkiness. It could throw a curveball into your storyline and whatnot. So it could be a thing you may be interested in. All in all, like I said, it's an enjoyable experience, and I've had fun doing it. So this has been another Graz Reviews. I am Graz once again, saying have yourselves a wonderful day, and if not, then just simply fake it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you all again next time.